Guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about why you should never mix alcohol and peptides. Whether you're taking a healing peptide or a growth hormone peptide, it's just throwing money down the toilet. And then there's also a good scientific reason why you shouldn't. In fact, I'm making this video because someone had mentioned that after having zero negative reactions to CJC 1295 ipamorelin, they all of a sudden broke out in hives, but it happened to be on the same day that they had a few margaritas a few hours before. Ding, ding, ding. You now know what the culprit is. That was the only thing that had really changed because these don't really mix well together. So let's go through that. What is the hidden cost of just a few drinks? Well, you're investing time, money, all this effort into this. So it's going to sabotage your goals because alcohol causes inflammation. Recent studies show that there's really no safe amount of alcohol that doesn't cause issues. But the real issue, and this is what I want to focus most of this video on, because you can imagine the cost, we won't spend too much time on that, is that there's histamine signaling disruption. It fundamentally disrupts histamine management. So it's not just allergies. You think about histamine, you're like, oh, sneezing, runny nose, this and that. No, histamine is a crucial signaling molecule for your body's communication, and it's used constantly for coordination. And then your immune response. It's a central role in immune system threat response, integral to inflammation processes, and it's essential for healing. So how does this play in with peptides? Well, what happens after you take your peptide? You get flushed feeling, you have that little stinging feeling on your injection site. This is a histamine response. It is a controlled histamine response, and it's actually good. It's your body's way of recognizing that there is a therapeutic peptide in you. So now, as we see here, your system starts paying attention to the injection site. Then you have vasodilation, so your blood vessels expand. This is why sometimes after you take, like, for instance, CJC 1295, you take it in the stomach and you get that dilation. What do you end up seeing? You might see your stomach actually pumping. This is because of this dilation that happens. And now you have healing nutrients that start flooding into the areas. If you're doing like DPC 157 in your shoulder or in a painful area. And all of this is good. This is good stuff. But you know what? There's two enzymes that are essential in this process, DAO and HNMT. You see that in point number 5 here? And these break down histamine and maintain a perfect balance after the job. That's why the histamine response literally typically lasts between like 10 and 25 minutes because of these two enzymes. But when you introduce alcohol, guess what happens? It inhibits them. So it literally blocks these two enzymes from being able to break down this histamine response in your body. Well, why is that a big problem? Well, because now your histamine levels build up, your levels become elevated, and your system overloads. So now you have this excessive amount of histamine in your system, and it triggers all these different symptoms that now affect your entire system. So instead of a quick, efficient histamine clearance, now all of a sudden you've got these elevated levels of histamine, and your body can't handle it. And now you get the facial flushing, throbbing headaches, skin itchiness, heightened anxiety, brain fog, digestive issues, and even heart palpitations. None of this sounds fun. It would be much easier if you just skipped peptide night if you wanted to have a drink. So here's the real problem, is that it undermines your healing, aside from being uncomfortable. So beyond just discomfort, the symptoms are unpleasant, sure, but you're also going to have these chronically elevated histamine levels, which means you're going to be in a prolonged stress state. So now you're going to have systemic inflammation, which interferes with recovery, and it totally disrupts the repair mechanisms that peptides enhance. You think about the money you're spending on PPC 157, TB 500, growth hormones, et cetera. You're putting all this into it, and alcohol just totally disrupts what you're trying to do. It actually can make it worse because of now the inflammation, because what can end up happening is this. So a single drink, it's not going to destroy everything, but what happens is it forces your body into an inefficient state. You're managing two opposing processes at the same time, healing and toxicity. So your liver and your cellular systems, they're dividing resources between processing alcohol and facilitating these peptide-driven tissue repair, and neither one of them is going to get the full attention. So this makes no sense for your body, doesn't make sense from a metabolic standpoint, and it doesn't even make sense from a financial standpoint. So if you're trying to get the most out of your peptides, then give yourself a clean window to work, which means no alcohol. If you're going to have alcohol, then skip peptides. Then if you have no alcohol, there's no metabolic competition. There's no compromised enzyme function. So you can still drink later. Just be strategic about your timing and understand the trade-offs with your therapeutic goals. I've chosen to completely abstain because it causes inflammation, which is completely contradictory to what I'm actually trying to do. So let your histamine response do its job. It is a feature, it's not a bug. Let it work without interference, and your body will reward you with the results that you're actually seeking from peptide therapy. Guys, if you've enjoyed this, please do me a favor, like and subscribe. My name is Ross. And if you're interested in getting peptides from the clinic we work with, you can go to myrecomposition.com. It's very safe. You create your portal. When you choose your peptides, it goes directly, it doesn't even charge you right away. It goes directly to the pharmacy. The pharmacy then processes your order. They charge you at the time that the thing gets shipped out. And you can work with our team if you have any questions. There's our phone numbers on the website. You can text it at any given point. Have an awesome day.